started going to the football on a regular basis in 1964, 63 or 64, with a friend of mine. I was working at the time, and I could knock off at midday, and he had a mini miner, which was very handy because we'd drive out to Windy Hill, and the four of us could lift it up and put it on the meeting strip, so we didn't have to worry about parking along the way. So we'd get there at 2:10 in time for the game to start, put the car on the meeting strip and rush into the football. The greatest moment was the first grand final, the first premiership, with an involvement in the club. So that was pretty important. But '93 was a very special year because it wasn't supposed to happen, and it did. And that was a huge thrill, and I was on the board at the time, so I think that made it even better to actually be involved in the board when it happened. You know, there were some disappointing moments when we got beaten in grand finals, but you know, really, my involvement with the footy club has been a huge plus in my life, and I wouldn't change 1 minute of it. In February this year, I developed a problem swallowing, and thought, like most people, I'd got an ulcer or something. Went to Doc Reed, he said, try this, try that. We tried that, it didn't work. Sent me off to the specialist, and got the unfortunate news that I had inoperable, incurable cancer of the esophagus, which is knocks you on your feet a bit, back on your backside a bit. And that I had to have chemo and radiation therapy, which went on for about 5 months. And I'm 3 weeks out of the last one. And hopefully, I don't know, who knows where I am. They can't promise you anything, you just do what you can. The support I've had from the footy club has been unbelievable. From players, from officials, from the club itself, from past players, past officials. I would say that, you know, in the darkest times when you're laying in hospital and all you can do is stare at the ceiling, and I was that sick, that's about all I could do. My phone would beep, and I'd look at it, it'd be a message from a player or a group of players. It might be 10 o'clock in the morning, they're at training and someone's asked a question. We'll send Homo a text, see how he is. Might be 11 o'clock at night. Melsh and I are sitting here having a cup of coffee. What are you doing? How are you? Messages from Tim Watson. Homo just barged on through like normal. Ramo, of course, who's been through the same problem, or a similar problem, he said to me very early on in the piece, Homo, rely on your mates, lean on your mates. I didn't do it early, and I should have done, and I realise how much help they can be to you if you do lean on them. When Robbo asked me about doing something for the Clash for Cancer, and would I be prepared to be interviewed about my problem, I said yeah, because if I can help someone else with the problem and help them with how to live through it, you can't beat it probably, but you can beat it for a while. It'll get me in the end. How long that'll be, I don't know. But if my experiences with the positive messages from football clubs and friends, and I've said all the way along, if support from other people will get me through this, I haven't got a worry in the world. I got to the Geelong game last week, and I'm definitely going to be there for the Hawthorn Cancer Clash to see if I can help anybody. And if you're there and you see me, ask me. I'm happy to help. One of the most humbling experiences in my life was when Hurdy took me into the players' meeting after the match and sat me down and told everybody in the team what I was going through. And I'll get emotional, that's the problem here. Told everyone that I was the godfather of the footy club and please look after him. Told you. Whether that was the catalyst for them doing what they're doing or not, I don't know, but they have been sensational.
Isn't it great to see the godfather of the Essendon Football Club, Bruce Hamilton, up and about, fit and healthy? Hamo, you are one of the most respected people the club has ever seen. We wish you, Rosie and your children all the very best for your successful fight against cancer. Which leads me into Friday night, the Clash for Cancer game against the Hawks, initiated by another true champion, Adam Ramanaskas. And with me tonight, a player that will represent the football club on a great evening, a Premier Ruckman, Tom Bell-Chambers. T-Bell, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, mate.
No worries. Now, let's get straight into it. Friday night against Geelong. A really disappointing loss for the club, but more importantly, a disappointing loss for the players. As a player, how did you sum up the game?
Yeah, definitely. As you said, it was very disappointing, and I know the boys are very shattered about the game. I think it was all credit to Geelong. They came out and their intensity was a lot better than ours around the ball. So I guess the good thing in footy is there's always next week, and we want to make amends as a playing group this week against Hawthorn.
Often our coaches are very positive, and I think the players really appreciate that. What's been some of the themes this week in taking on the Hawks? Without giving away too much, how has training been, and what will the Bombers concentrate on Friday night? Yeah,
training's been really good this week. Very upbeat. All the boys are up and about on the track, and this week I think we want to get back to basics and really focus on our contested ball. We pride ourselves on our contested ball as a club, and that's going to be one of the major focuses this week.
Mate, you're a very team-orientated player. The boys love you down at the club, but your own performance, you seem to getting forward, kicking goals. At one stage there, I really thought you were going to drag Essendon back into the game. Is that something you've been working on behind the scenes, or is it just something that happened on Friday night?
Yeah, I think it's something I've been working on a fair bit. I've got David Hill and Patrick Ryder, two great players that I'm learning a lot off during my time at the club, and yeah, it's always good to gain a bit of confidence and go down and kick some goals.
Mate, you've done a bit of work over the pre-season, obviously, with a few ruckmen. David Hilly, Patrick Ryder. How much of an influence have they had on your career, and how often do you work with them during the week? Yeah, they've been massive for me. It's almost as I've served my apprenticeship underneath David Hill pretty much. So we do a lot of work during the week together, and I find him really valuable. Oh, very good. Now, Tommy, this week is going to be a huge challenge for yourself in the ruck, obviously. How do you see it? Is it going to be a Tapman's ruckman-like game, or are you going to have to push forward and work hard and kick goals? Yeah, I think obviously the main objective is to give the mids first look at it, get my hand on the ball, and then from there really work on my work around the ground, so to almost play as another midfielder and get involved in the play and link up with the boys. Tommy, don't go anywhere, mate, because I've got some more questions for you after the break. Thanks, mate.
Each week your votes decide the true value bomber of the round. The round 17 nominations are Pace to Burn, Alwyn Davies' brilliant chase in defence to set Tom Bell-Chambers up for his first goal. Fresh Legs, Nathan Lovett-Murray's excellent running out of the middle, deep in the third quarter.
Here's Lovett-Murray sweeping it back and then going again to Davies.
And standing tall, Tom Bell-Chambers' 3 goals in the third quarter to help keep the game alive.
Has kicked 3 once before against GWS. That's a good goal. So Taylor's kicked 2 in this quarter and Bell-Chambers kicked 3.
Congratulations to this week's winner, Alex Schiffman of Cranbourne, who correctly voted for Tom Bell-Chambers as the True Value Bomber. Alec will now go into the season's draw for the True Value Solar Package, valued at $3,000. Visit the website for full terms and conditions.
Well, I was probably excited for the fact that I was playing against Hawthorn, a team I used to barrack for, and Peter Knights was my hero at the time.
With Van der Haar and Knights again. Van der Haar, third mark over Peter Knights.